Here's a question: how much electricity does the entire state of Utah use? All of it, every home, every highway billboard, every air conditioner, every strip mall and data center already humming out there. Got a number in your head? Now imagine one campus, not a city, not a country, one campus that consumes twice that. That campus just got approved. 9 gigawatts. Let's make that number land in your body. The Hoover Dam, that iconic concrete arch holding back the Colorado River, produces roughly 2 gigawatts on a good day. You would need 4.5 Hoover Dams running simultaneously just to feed this single campus. That's not a server room. That's a new kind of industrial organism. So why does artificial intelligence eat electricity like this? Every time a large language model answers a question, yours, someone else's, 1,000 simultaneous someone else's, it runs billions of matrix multiplications through chips that run hot, need continuous cooling, and never sleep. Training a single frontier AI model can consume more electricity than a small town uses in a year. And that was last year's model. The campus is the work of Kevin O'Leary, yes, the Shark Tank guy, partnered with Black River Infrastructure, and it's been approved for construction in Utah. The plan isn't just to consume 9 gigawatts, it's to generate that power on site, building a private power ecosystem alongside the data halls. Which is either visionary vertical integration or the most audacious permit application in the history of permits. Generating 9 gigawatts on site means fuel, a lot of it. The proposal mixes natural gas generation with renewable sources, with the stated ambition of transitioning greener over time. Natural gas wins when the timeline is as soon as possible. Critics note that eventually renewable is carrying a lot of weight in that sentence. Proponents counter that the alternative is building nothing and letting AI infrastructure land on a dirtier grid somewhere else. Both points are, annoyingly, correct. Water is the other bill nobody is talking about. Data centers cool their servers with thousands of gallons of water per minute, evaporated into the air. Utah sits in the Colorado River Basin, which 7 states have been arguing over since 1922, and which is already overallocated. Quietly adding a city-scale water consumer to that dispute is, to put it diplomatically, a bold hydrological choice. Utah approved it anyway. Tens of thousands of construction jobs. Billions in ongoing tax revenue. The kind of infrastructure anchor that puts a state on the map as an AI hub instead of a place you fly over. Money talks, and 9 gigawatts of money talks at a volume you can hear from space. Here's the uncomfortable context: this is not an outlier. Microsoft, Google, Amazon, and Meta are each building AI campuses at scales that would have been science fiction in 2020. The race to host AI computation is the most energy-intensive infrastructure boom in human history, more demanding than railroads, more demanding than the interstate system, and it's happening in 5 years instead of 50. No grid was designed for this. Nobody's grid was. 9 gigawatts for one campus in one state is a preview, not an exception. The question we're actually negotiating isn't whether to build these facilities, the economic gravity is too strong. The real question is what we connect them to, and whether the atmosphere and the aquifers on the other end of that wire have any meaningful vote in the matter. Strip everything back and 3 facts remain that the industry would rather you hold separately. 1. The computation that runs modern AI genuinely requires industrial-scale power, that part is not hype. 2. The economics of building that infrastructure are so lopsided toward yes that environmental objections function mostly as speed bumps. 3. The water, the carbon, and the grid strain don't stay inside the campus fence, they distribute across regions, river basins, and decades, mostly borne by people who had no seat at the approval meeting. 9 gigawatts in Utah is a data point. The trend line it sits on is the actual story. What strikes us isn't the scale, we've made our peace with big numbers. What strikes us is how cleanly the costs and the benefits split along different zip codes and different time horizons. The people who get the construction jobs are not the people who lose access to the river. The companies that capture the revenue are not the ones who inherit the carbon. That's not a new pattern in American infrastructure. But we're now enshrining it into systems that will run for 30 years, at a pace nobody's grid or aquifer was designed for. So here's what we keep coming back to: if the atmosphere and the river can't vote, who exactly is casting the proxy?